Over 40 billion Oreo cookies are sold every year around the world. That's more than 1,200 cookies every single second. But what exactly goes into making this iconic cookie? From raw ingredients to the moment it lands in your hands, in this video, we're going behind the scenes to reveal how the most popular cookie on the planet is made. The American company was founded in 1912. The cookie features two round, dark chocolate wafers with a sweet white cream filling. Originally made with just vanilla cream, it now comes in many flavors. Most production happens at the Virginia factory, with additional facilities in New Jersey, Chicago, and Oregon. The journey starts with choosing the right ingredients. For the cookie part, the main ingredients are wheat flour, sugar, vegetable oil, cocoa powder, salt, baking soda, soy lecithin, and a few flavorings. For the cream filling, it's powdered sugar, vegetable fat, vanilla extract, and soy lecithin again. Each ingredient is stored in large containers inside the factory. Everything is carefully labeled, weighed, and checked to meet strict quality standards. No room for error when you're making millions of cookies a day. Before mixing begins, workers make sure all the ingredients are measured and ready. This involves weighing flour, sugar, cocoa, salt, baking soda, and other components according to the recipe. Dry ingredients like flour, sugar, cocoa powder, salt, and baking soda are added to large mixing machines. At first, the mixer runs slowly to combine everything evenly and prevent lumps from forming. Once the dry ingredients are mixed, vegetable oil and liquid soy lecithin are gradually added while the mixer continues at low speed. The goal is to blend the liquids into the dry mixture, evenly creating a consistent dough. As the liquids blend in, the mixing speed increases. This helps create the right texture and ensures everything is evenly distributed. The mixer keeps running until the dough is smooth and uniform, with no visible clumps. After mixing, the dough may still be a bit rough or uneven. Now the dough is ready to be shaped into cookies. It is properly mixed and kneaded to the perfect consistency. The shaping machine is prepared for the process. It includes rollers and molds specifically designed to form Oreo cookies. The dough is loaded into the machine through a hopper, which allows controlled flow into the rollers. It passes between the rollers, which press it into molds with the signature Oreo design. This creates round cookies with their iconic embossed pattern. After stamping, a cutting system trims the cookies to the correct size and thickness. Any leftover dough around the cookies is collected and either reused or discarded. The freshly cut cookies are gently transferred onto a conveyor belt, which moves them to the next step. Before baking begins, the ovens are preheated to the correct temperature, which usually ranges from 180 degrees Celsius to 200 degrees Celsius, depending on the manufacturer. The cookies are carefully arranged on a conveyor belt, spaced and aligned properly to ensure even baking. The cookies are baked in a convection oven for around 9 to 12 minutes. During this time, the heat causes the dough to rise and bake into the finished cookie. Once baked, the cookies are removed from the oven and placed on trays to cool. Cooling is important before packaging to prevent breaking or damage. The filling is made using ingredients like powdered sugar, vegetable fat, vanilla essence, and other flavorings for texture and taste. When the cookies and cream are ready, assembly begins. A generous layer of cream is placed on one cookie, then another cookie is placed on top, forming the classic Oreo sandwich. Each sandwich is checked to make sure it has the right amount of filling and that both cookies are properly aligned. This factory produces around 34 billion Oreo cookies every year, which means nearly 92 million cookies are made every single day. These cookies are manufactured in several factories, with the main plant located in Richmond, Virginia, helping supply Oreo to over 100 countries worldwide. The finished cookies are moved to the packaging line, where they are sorted and placed into individual packs or boxes. Labels are applied with branding and product details. The packs are sealed tightly to keep the cookies fresh. Then, these packs are placed into larger boxes for storage or shipping. In large factories, specialized machines handle thousands of eggs per hour, ensuring both speed and precision. These machines take whole eggs and crack them open using mechanical arms or blades, applying just enough force to break the shell without damaging the egg inside. Once cracked, the egg moves through a separator that quickly divides the yolk from the egg white. The yolks and whites are collected separately, often to be used in different products, such as baked goods, mayonnaise, or protein supplements. The precision of these machines is remarkable, reducing waste and making it possible to process millions of eggs each day. This efficient system helps meet the high demand for egg-based products while maintaining quality and cleanliness throughout the process. And here we have a beverage factory. Cans are filled and packaged through a systematic process to ensure quality and freshness. Empty aluminum cans are cleaned and sterilized to remove any dust or impurities. They move along a conveyor belt to the filling station where machines pour in the drink. The amount of liquid is carefully measured to avoid spills or underfilling. Next, the cans are sealed with airtight lids to keep the drink fresh and prevent leaks. They then pass through a quality control check where machines or workers inspect them for any defects. After sealing, the cans move to the packaging stage. Expiration date are added. The cans are then packed into cartons or plastic-wrapped packs for easy transport. Finally, the packaged beverages are loaded onto trucks and sent to stores, ensuring they reach customers in perfect condition. In modern ice cream factories, machines help make delicious chocolate wafer sandwiches with great precision. The process starts with robotic feeders that carefully place soft chocolate wafers on a moving belt. These robots work with incredible accuracy, making sure each wafer is perfectly spaced, no more than 0.5 millimeters apart. This careful stacking is important for creating neat, even sandwiches. Next comes the most exciting part, the ice cream. A fast-moving cutter quickly slices the ice cream into perfect, equal portions. Each slice is made to fit exactly between the wafers. Right after that, another chocolate wafer gently drops on top of the ice cream, finishing the sandwich. As we continue, let's take a closer look at canned sardines. This popular and convenient food item is produced in factories through a simple yet fascinating process. It starts with fresh sardines, which are small, oily fish. The fish are first cleaned with their heads and tails removed, and then washed thoroughly. After cleaning, they are cooked, usually by steaming or frying to prepare them for canning. Once cooked, the sardines are placed into cans, often with oil, water, or sauce added for flavor and preservation. The cans are sealed tightly to keep the fish fresh and safe. They are then heated again to eliminate bacteria and ensure long shelf life. Finally, the cans are labeled, packed, and shipped to stores. Canned sardines are not only convenient but also nutritious, offering a good source of protein and healthy fats. And they can be stored for months without refrigeration. Over 2.3 billion cans of Pringles are sold worldwide every year, bringing in more than $3 billion in revenue. That's around 6 million cans sold each day. To meet this massive demand, giant machines harvest tons of potatoes from the fields. But how are 10 million Pringles chips produced every single day? Pringles were created in the 1960s by chemist Frederick Bauer to solve problems with regular chips. He used potato flakes to make uniform, unbreakable chips and pack them in a can. After launching in 1968, Pringles became a worldwide hit with many unique flavors. To find out, we visited the Pringles factory to uncover the process behind one of the most iconic snacks on the planet. The journey of a Pringle begins in the potato fields. When the potatoes are ready to harvest, the fields look like green carpets. That's when the massive harvesting machines get to work. These powerful machines can collect up to 5 tons of potatoes at a time. As the machine moves along the rows, sharp blades dig into the soil to lift the potatoes along with dirt and roots. The mix then moves onto a vibrating conveyor belt that filters out stones and loose soil, while the potatoes continue forward into a large hopper. This entire process is carefully designed to avoid damaging the potatoes. Once the harvester is full, the load is transferred to trucks that carry the potatoes straight to the factory. A single Pringles plant receives around 50,000 kilograms of fresh potatoes every day. Once the potatoes arrive at the factory, they're placed on a conveyor belt that carries them to the washing station. This is no ordinary rinse. They're submerged in large tanks of water, where a hydro washing system removes dirt and any remaining debris. After washing, the potatoes move on to the peeling machine. This machine is lined with a rough surface, similar to sandpaper. As the potatoes spin and roll around, the skin is gently scraped off, leaving them clean and smooth. Next, the peeled potatoes are checked by a worker for any signs of damage or bruising. Then, they're briefly dipped in hot water, a process known as blanching. This softens the potatoes for easier cutting and stops enzymes that could spoil the flavor or color. Slicing and steaming. After blanching, the potatoes are placed inside a spinning drum that rotates at 100 revolutions per minute. Inside this drum are ultra-sharp blades. The force of the spin pushes the potatoes against the blades, slicing them into thin strips, then into small cubes. This part of the process is incredibly fast. A whole potato is diced in less than a second. The small cubes are sent along a vibrating belt, which keeps them separated and aligned. Special cameras scan the cubes for any defects. The potato cubes are then steamed at a high temperature of about 174 degrees Celsius. Once fully cooked, they are mashed into a smooth, lump-free puree inside a large industrial mixer. Now comes the real transformation. The smooth potato puree is spread out onto a giant drying drum. As the drum spins and heats up, the moisture evaporates, leaving behind thin and flexible sheets of dried potato. These sheets are then ground into potato flakes, the main ingredient in Pringles dough. In a large mixer, the flakes are combined with water, cornstarch, rice flour, wheat starch, corn flour, salt, and emulsifiers that help bind everything together.
The resulting dough has a texture similar to wet sand. It travels along a conveyor to a screw press, which spreads it evenly. Then, a huge roller applies 4 tons of pressure to flatten the dough to just 1 millimeter thick. A rotary cutter stamps out oval-shaped chips from the flattened dough. Any leftover dough is recycled back into the mix to reduce waste. The cut chips are then sent to the fryer, where they receive their famous curved shape. As they pass through the fryer, a roller presses them into the classic Pringles form, curved like a saddle. The chips are fried in oil at 200 degrees for exactly 11 seconds. This step locks in their shape and gives them the golden color and crunch we all know. Once fried, they are cooled down using hot air at around 40 degrees to remove excess oil. Next comes the seasoning. Each chip is carefully sprinkled with a specific amount of flavoring. In total, about 2,700 kilograms of seasoning are used daily across all the various flavors. Thanks to their shape, the chips naturally fall into perfect stacks. A quality control worker checks for chips that are broken, under-seasoned, or defective. The chips are then weighed to ensure each can contains the right amount. An automated spoon loads the chips into the signature cans. A metal bottom is sealed on and a lid is added to the top to keep them fresh. Before shipping, the cans go through a final check. One of the last steps is a blind taste test. Trained tasters sample chips without seeing them to avoid any visual bias. They judge the chip's crunch, texture, and flavor. If even one chip doesn't meet the standards, the entire batch is rejected. Only after passing all inspections are the cans packed into boxes and shipped to warehouses, supermarkets, and stores around the world.
Next up, let's explore how cookies are made in a factory. The process begins with automated systems that carefully measure and feed ingredients into mixers to ensure consistency in every batch. This helps maintain the perfect texture and taste. Most factories use the wire-cutting method to shape cookies. The dough is pushed through a mold and then cut into even pieces with a sharp wire. This machine can cut up to 100 cookies per minute and operates without stopping the production line. Another method is the automatic dough extruder, which shapes cookies into different designs using special nozzles. Next, the cookies go into large industrial ovens that use precise temperature control and airflow systems to bake them evenly. After baking, they are carefully transferred to a cooling tower to set properly. Once cooled, the cookies go through quality control before being packed into trays, bags, or boxes using automated machines. Toast bread, also known as sliced bread, is made in factories using a simple and efficient process. It starts with mixing ingredients like flour, water, yeast, sugar, and salt to create dough. The dough is kneaded by machines until it becomes smooth and elastic. It is then left to rise, allowing the yeast to make the dough light and fluffy. After rising, the dough is shaped into loaves and baked in large ovens. Once baked, the loaves are cooled and then sliced into even pieces by sharp automated blades. This ensures each slice is uniform and ready for toasting. The sliced bread is then packaged. It is usually placed into plastic bags which are sealed to keep the bread fresh. Some factories also add twist ties or clips to the bags for easy opening and closing. Labels with information like the brand, ingredients, and expiration date are added before the bread is boxed and sent to stores. Toast bread is a staple in many homes, perfect for breakfast, sandwiches, or snacks. Let's take a look at the Baby Bell factory that produces millions of small snack cheese balls. It all begins with milk sourced from dairy suppliers. The milk is pasteurized to eliminate harmful bacteria, ensuring safety and freshness. Next, a starter culture and rennet are added to the milk, initiating the cheese-making process by curdling the milk. and separating it into curds and whey. The curds are then cut and drained to remove excess whey, forming the base of the cheese. These curds are pressed into molds, shaping them into Babybel's signature small, round wheels. Once molded, the cheese is aged in a controlled environment to develop its mild and creamy flavor. After aging, the cheese wheels are coated in a protective layer of red wax, which seals in freshness and prevents spoilage. Finally, the wax-covered cheeses are wrapped in the iconic Babybel packaging. In a large modern factory, millions of ice creams are made every day. This factory is filled with advanced machines that work quickly and efficiently. These machines mix fresh ingredients like milk, sugar, and fruit to create delicious ice cream. There are many different flavors, from classic chocolate and vanilla to unique ones like mango and caramel swirl. The machines pour the ice cream into cones, cups, and tubs before freezing them at very low temperatures. Some machines add chocolate coatings, sprinkles, or nuts to make the ice creams even more exciting. Workers in the factory monitor the machines to ensure everything runs smoothly. Quality checks are done to guarantee that each ice cream meets high standards. Once packed, the ice creams are sent to stores and supermarkets worldwide. Every year, 3 billion surprise eggs are sold worldwide. These irresistible chocolate eggs contain a hidden surprise inside. But how are they made? Let's take a look inside the Ferrero factory to see how one of the world's most popular treats is produced. Kinder Surprise was created in 1974 by Michele Ferrero, founder of the Italian company Ferrero. Inspired by Italy's Easter tradition of hiding surprises in chocolate eggs, he wanted to bring that magic to children all year round. To achieve this, Ferrero combined its chocolate-making expertise with a unique idea, placing a small toy inside a chocolate egg. The result was Kinder Surprise, a treat loved by both children and adults. The process of making Kinder Surprise starts with selecting high-quality ingredients. Cocoa beans are sourced from tropical regions, mainly in West Africa, such as the Ivory Coast. Farmers harvest ripe cocoa pods by hand, extract the beans, and leave them to ferment for 7 days. This fermentation process develops the flavors characteristic of cocoa. The beans are then sun-dried for 10 days, reducing moisture for easier storage and transport. Once dried, they are sent to factories where they are carefully cleaned to remove impurities like dust and stones before being stored under controlled conditions. The milk used comes from dairy farms that meet strict quality and sustainability standards. Sugar is extracted from sugarcane grown in tropical climates. The cane stalks are crushed to release the juice, which is then filtered, purified, and crystallized to produce refined sugar. Once all the ingredients arrive at the factory, the chocolate production process begins. During cocoa bean processing, cocoa paste is extracted. This paste is then pressed to separate its two main components: cocoa butter, a natural fat that gives chocolate its creamy texture, and cocoa powder used to enhance the chocolate's flavor and color. The cocoa butter is filtered and purified to remove impurities. Once the cocoa butter is obtained, it is mixed with other key ingredients: powdered milk, sugar, and soy lecithin. These ingredients are carefully weighed and combined in precise proportions to create the two signature layers of a Kinder Surprise egg. The outer layer of milk chocolate, which balances cocoa and sweetness, and the inner layer of white chocolate, which has a creamier and sweeter taste. The ingredients are mixed in large, rotating containers at controlled temperatures to ensure a smooth, even blend. The mixture then passes through steel rollers that compress and refine the solid particles to microscopic sizes, typically less than 20 microns. This step is crucial for giving the chocolate a silky and non-gritty texture. A key stage in producing high-quality chocolate is conching. This process takes place in large machines called conches, where the chocolate mixture is continuously stirred under heat. Conching helps remove bitter and volatile compounds, resulting in a smoother, well-balanced flavor. The chocolate develops a smooth and creamy consistency before undergoing tempering, a controlled heating and cooling process that stabilizes the cocoa butter crystals. This step is essential for achieving a glossy finish and a firm texture that resists melting. Once tempered, the chocolate is stored in tanks at 30 degrees Celsius to maintain its fluidity and quality. It is continuously stirred to prevent lumps, while temperature and viscosity are carefully monitored to ensure it is ready for the next stage. The result is high-quality chocolate, prepared for molding into the signature Kinder Surprise egg shape. The plastic molds used to shape the eggs are thoroughly cleaned and sterilized to ensure hygiene and prevent contamination. They are slightly preheated to help the chocolate flow and adhere properly. The egg-forming process begins with tempered milk chocolate being poured into the molds through dosing nozzles. The molds are then placed in a rotary machine which spins them in multiple directions to ensure the chocolate evenly coats the interior, forming a thin and uniform layer. Next, the molds travel along a conveyor belt to a refrigerated tunnel where the chocolate is cooled to a precise temperature. This allows the outer milk chocolate layer to harden just enough to support the next step. Once the milk chocolate has solidified, a thinner layer of white chocolate is poured into the molds. The molds are rotated again to ensure even coverage inside the existing milk chocolate layer. Each yellow plastic capsule which contains the surprise toy is manufactured and assembled on a separate production line. The toys are carefully inserted, and the capsules undergo strict safety checks. The capsules are then automatically placed at the center of one half of the chocolate egg. High-precision machines align the two halves, one containing the capsule and one without. The halves are joined using light pressure and a touch of heat, allowing the chocolate to act as a natural adhesive. This step ensures that the egg is completely sealed and that the surprise capsule is securely enclosed. Each Kinder Surprise egg then undergoes automatic and manual inspections to verify that the halves are properly aligned and the seal is flawless. Once approved, the eggs are ready for the packaging stage. Each Kinder Surprise egg is individually wrapped in a thin aluminum foil, specially designed to protect it from light and moisture while preserving the chocolate's freshness. The aluminum sheets are cut to precise sizes and applied by automatic machines, which wrap each egg and seal the foil using pressure and heat. Sensors and cameras check that every egg is correctly wrapped and that the design is clear and uniform. This ensures that Kinder Surprise eggs reach consumers in perfect condition with their signature attractive packaging, high-quality chocolate, and an exciting surprise inside. Over 12 billion Choco Pies have been sold globally, reflecting their immense popularity. The process of making Choco Pie begins with preparing the soft, sponge-like cakes that form the base and top layers. A batter is mixed using flour, eggs, sugar, and other essential ingredients before being baked into perfectly uniform round cake pieces. The marshmallow filling, which gives Choco Pie its signature softness, is prepared by whipping sugar, gelatin, and water into a fluffy consistency. This filling is carefully piped onto one of the cake layers. The second cake layer is then placed on top, forming a sandwich-like structure with marshmallow in the center. The next step involves coating the assembled cakes in a layer of rich chocolate. The chocolate is melted and evenly applied through an enrobing process, ensuring each Choco Pie is completely covered. After coating, the pies are cooled to allow the chocolate to set, giving them their glossy appearance and firm exterior. Finally, the Choco Pies undergo quality checks to ensure consistency in taste, texture, and appearance before being individually packaged. As we continue, let's take a look at how popcorn is made in a factory. The process starts with selecting high-quality corn kernels. These kernels are cleaned to remove dust and unwanted particles. After cleaning, they are dried to the right moisture level, which is crucial for making them pop properly. Next, the kernels are placed into large popping machines where they are heated using hot air or oil. The heat causes the moisture inside the kernels to turn into steam, making them expand and pop into fluffy popcorn. Once popped, the popcorn is seasoned with butter, cheese, caramel, or other flavors. It is then cooled to keep it crispy and fresh. After cooling, the popcorn is carefully packed into bags, boxes, or microwavable packets. Finally, the packaged popcorn goes through quality checks before being shipped to stores. In this factory, stick-shaped cookies go through a detailed process to become a delicious treat with chocolate and peanuts. The process begins with pre-baked cookie sticks, moved along a conveyor belt to the dipping station, where machines coat one end with melted chocolate. Next, peanut ranches are added on top of the chocolate coating, giving the cookies a crunchy texture and extra flavor. After the peanuts are added, the cookies are dipped in chocolate again to cover the peanut ranches. This double coating helps keep the peanuts in place and gives the cookies a smooth finish. The cookies are then moved to a cooling station where they are left to cool down, allowing the chocolate to harden. Once cooled, the cookies go through a quality check. If they pass, they are sent to the packaging stage. The cookies are wrapped in plastic or placed in boxes, labeled and then packed into cartons to be sent to stores for customers to enjoy. The journey of making 7UP begins with the main ingredients: carbonated water, high-fructose corn syrup, and natural lemon-lime flavors. These are carefully blended to create the base syrup. The mixture is then precisely carbonated, giving 7UP its signature fizz. Next, the carbonated syrup is piped into a filling machine that dispenses the perfect amount of soda into each bottle or can. Every bottle and can is capped and sealed to lock in the carbonation, keeping the soda fresh and fizzy. Throughout the process, rigorous quality control tests ensure that every can meets 7UP's high standards. Once checked, the bottles and cans are labeled and packed for distribution, ready to be shipped to stores worldwide. From factory to your fridge, that's how every can of 7UP is made. Crisp, refreshing, and always ready to quench your thirst. There's nothing quite like a well-baked croissant with that crispy and soft in the middle, with the subtle flavors that melt in your mouth. However, croissant production must be done just right, especially when you're producing them on a high-speed line. The journey of a croissant begins with its ingredients. Factories use premium flour, rich butter, sugar, yeast, and a touch of salt to ensure consistent quality. The dough is mixed in large industrial mixers, where it transforms into a silky base, ready for the next crucial step. One of the defining features of croissants is their flaky and layered texture. This is achieved through a process called lamination. Large machines roll out the dough into thin sheets and layer it with chilled butter. The dough is folded and rolled multiple times, creating up to 27 layers of dough and butter. These layers are the secret behind the croissant's crisp exterior and airy interior. Once the laminated dough is ready, it's chilled to maintain the butter's integrity. The sheets are then cut into perfect triangles to create that iconic shape of croissants. Automated systems roll these triangles into crescents, a process that's both precise and mesmerizing to watch. Proofing is a critical step in the croissant-making process. The croissants rest in a controlled environment where the yeast activates, causing the dough to rise and develop its light and airy structure. Temperature and humidity are carefully monitored to ensure the croissants proof evenly, creating that perfect texture. Once proofed, the croissants are ready for baking. Industrial ovens bake them at precise temperatures to ensure even cooking. This is where the butter melts, creating steam that forms the iconic flaky layers. In just 20 to 25 minutes, the croissants emerge golden, crispy on the outside, and soft on the inside. Every croissant undergoes strict quality control to ensure consistency. Only the best croissants make it to the packaging line. The ones that don't meet the criteria are removed, ensuring only the best reach the customer. Modern packaging systems carefully wrap the croissants, sealing in their freshness. These systems can package hundreds of croissants per minute, ready to be shipped to bakeries and stores. The journey of making doner kebab starts with fresh meat. Factories source high-quality lamb, beef, or chicken, depending on the type of kebab being made. Each batch is carefully inspected for freshness and quality before it's prepared for seasoning. Once the meat is selected, it's trimmed and portioned to remove excess fat and prepare it for seasoning. This ensures that every piece of kebab is lean yet flavorful. The next crucial step is seasoning. Kebabs get their rich signature flavors from a blend of spices and herbs. Factories use large industrial mixers to evenly coat the meat with a mix of ingredients like garlic, onion, cumin, coriander, and paprika. This process not only adds flavor, but also helps tenderize the meat. Tumblers ensure that the spices are evenly distributed, so every bite is packed with that signature kebab taste. Once the meat is seasoned, it's time to skewer it. In small batches, workers manually skewer the meat, carefully layering each piece. For larger production runs, machines take over skewering thousands of kebabs per hour. Automation plays a key role in maintaining consistency. Each kebab is packed tightly, ensuring it cooks evenly and holds its shape during grilling. Next, the skewered kebabs head to massive grills or ovens. Depending on the type of kebab, they may be slow cooked over open flames or roasted in industrial ovens to lock in that smoky, juicy flavor. This step is crucial for giving kebabs their iconic charred edges and tender, juicy center. Factory grills are designed to cook hundreds of skewers at once, while ensuring each one gets that perfect sear. From cow to curd, the manufacture of cheese has been carried out for thousands of years, and in that time the process of making it has remained relatively the same. It all starts with collecting fresh milk from dairy farms. Whether it's cow or sheep milk, its quality is essential in determining the flavor and texture of the final product. Once the milk is collected, it's transferred into large copper vats, which help with temperature control. Natural whey starter, which contains cultures from the previous day's cheese-making process, is added to acidify the milk. This step is crucial in developing the cheese's flavor and texture. Next, rennet, an enzyme traditionally sourced from calves' stomachs, is added to coagulate the milk. This causes the proteins to solidify, forming curds. The curds are allowed to sit until they reach a jelly-like consistency. Once the curds have set, they are cut into small pieces using a tool called a spino, resembling a large whisk. The smaller the curd pieces, the drier the final cheese will be, which is important for Parmesan. The curds are then heated to around 55 degrees Celsius in the copper vats. This cooking process helps expel more whey from the curds, which contributes to the cheese's firmness and long shelf life. The heating process is carefully controlled to ensure that the curds do not overcook. After cooking, the curds settle at the bottom of the vat, forming a large mass. The liquid whey is drained off, and the curds are collected into cheesecloth-lined molds to shape them into their characteristic round form. These molds are then placed under a light press for a few hours to remove excess whey and to solidify the shape of the cheese. The pressing stage is crucial in determining the final structure of the cheese, influencing its texture and hardness. Once the curds have been pressed into solid wheels, they are submerged in brine for about 20 to 25 days. This step serves two important purposes. It adds flavor and acts as a preservative. The salt helps develop the cheese's characteristic flavor and creates a natural rind that protects the cheese during aging. After brining, the cheese wheels are transferred to aging rooms where they will mature for at least 12 months. Although many Parmesan cheeses age for up to 24 or even 36 months. The aging process is what gives Parmesan its distinctive, sharp flavor and crumbly texture. During aging, the wheels are placed on wooden shelves and regularly turned to ensure even drying and development. Humidity and temperature in the aging rooms are tightly controlled to prevent spoilage and ensure optimal flavor development. As the cheese ages, it loses moisture and the flavors become more concentrated. The longer the cheese is aged, the more complex and intense the flavor becomes, developing its signature, nutty, fruity, and slightly granular profile. One of the most important steps in making Parmesan is the rigorous quality inspection process. After 12 months of aging, each wheel is inspected by a trained cheese master or consortio inspector. They use a small hammer to tap the wheel, listening for any imperfections in the structure that could affect the cheese's quality. Wheels that meet the strict standards are branded with the Parmigiano Reggiano mark, certifying their authenticity and quality. If the cheese does not meet these standards, it is either sold as a lower-grade cheese or used for other purposes. Once the cheese has passed inspection and aged to perfection, it is ready for packaging. The large wheels of Parmesan are cut into smaller portions using specialized cutting machines that ensure minimal waste and precision cuts. The cheese is then vacuum sealed or wrapped to preserve its freshness. For large-scale production, factories often automate the cutting and packaging process to meet high demand efficiently while ensuring consistent product quality.